Boom, Trackers by Charles Frazier. I read this after reading Cold Mountain, which I loved. That was a book I couldn't really read straight through because it was so emotionally jarring. I was like, oh, I need a second to recover from this. Um, Trackers was a little slower than I thought it would be, given the title. You know, when I think Trackers, I think detective, search, cat and mouse, fight, flight, freeze, like, oh, who's around the corner. Trackers is that, and it alludes to different people tracking different people for different reasons, which is really cool. I like the layer of trackers in this book. But I found myself like, all right, let's get through this. This is boring. But right when I would feel a little boredom, then something would happen. I'd be like, oh man, that's I didn't expect that to happen. But at the same time, the things that happen, the action, um, it felt so quick out the blue, but also it was very subtle. And it's part of what I didn't enjoy, but what I did enjoy. Like there was no there was like one moment in the book, like the third act, it starts to pick up a bit, and you're like, okay, here we go, here we go. Um, but up to that point, you're like, what are we doing? Why are we doing it? And I think that the cat and mouse of it was like, why are we going after this lady? And even after you find out why why he's tracking a person, you're like, I it it doesn't feel strong enough. It's not strong enough to be compelling. It's not like end of the world stuff. It's just, hey, where did she go? Why did she go? Eh, What I would have loved is if Long, who's the character. So basically, I didn't explain to you guys what the book is. Basically, you got this guy Valentine, who's a painter artist. He gets commissioned to paint a building, a PO box, as a way of giving hope to people in this small town. I think it's Montana or Wyoming or someplace like that. And he's commissioned by this guy Hutch, but he's staying with this guy Mr. Long. Um, Mr. Long's wife, Eve, she just one night takes off. She takes the car, she takes the painting, she just bounces. And so Mr. Long sends Val to go look for her. He's like, here are some states she might be in, like gives him plane money, all that. So that's basically the gist of the book is Val pursuing Eve, trying to figure out why she left Long, right? And Long for me was a terrible name because it was like it could have been Jefferson. It could because every time I read Long, I was thinking Long Short, right? And I was like, oh, this is this guy's name. Um, so I wasn't curious enough about why she left. I was like, oh, she just bounced. All right, let her go. And even after where they tell you why, you're like, all right. So the chase itself had to be more compelling. And it was interesting. He runs into a Val runs into a lot of interesting characters, which is really kind of what keeps you engrossed. Is like all these different people you're meeting, but also you're learning about hunting and tracking, and there was like some really cool things done with a tire and some other things that like as I'm learning about, I'm like, oh, that's a cool thing to just know randomly. So I would recommend the book. I say it's a quick read. It's almost 300 pages. The chapters are very short, so that is what I enjoyed about it. Um, I just didn't love I wanted to love it. And I think had I known more about Long, it would have made it more interesting. Um, but at the same time, then the book would have been longer. And I don't know if it would have justified a longer thing. But check it out. Decide for yourself. I don't regret having read it. I just wanted her. I just wanted, like when you're eating something, like it tastes good enough, but you're like, that there's another. Anyway, Trackers, Charles Frazier, boom.